Which is better, PokeMMO or the newcomer on the block, PokeForce? If you haven't heard or aren't aware, PokeForce is an up-and-coming Pokemon MMO that is currently in its summer demo test. A lot of people have been seeing me play it on stream and asking which is better, PokeMMO or PokeForce. For reference, I have over 8,000 hours in PokeMMO alone and tons of other hundreds of hours in other Pokemon MMOs. So when my audience sees me playing a different Pokemon MMO, they're rightfully intrigued and wondering, why aren't you playing PokeMMO? Why are you playing this game instead? And now part of the truth of the matter is that I like to just try out every Pokemon MMO that exists, but it's also true that PokeForce is really exciting and interesting. It's doing things that I've never seen other Pokemon MMOs do before. So let's try to answer this question. I've put together my thoughts. Which game is better, PokeMMO or PokeForce? Before we cover the positives of PokeForce, I think it's extremely important to remind you guys, this game is in pre-alpha. It's not even an alpha or a beta test stage yet. It cannot be judged or compared as a full game. And if you hear that and say, hey, Patrouski, how could you possibly judge this game that's in pre-alpha against a game with 12 years to developing? Wait until the conclusion. You're on the right track. But to pretend there's actually an interesting video here, let's go ahead and actually go through the positives. You see, PokeForce can be summarized as Stardew Valley plus old school RuneScape plus PokeMMO. You have your farming elements, you have your skills in the actual skills menu, which you can gain experience for and level up. In this summer demo, you can train mining, foraging, which is mostly just wood cutting from my understanding, as well as farming, I believe, which includes a lot of the berry farming and other activities. PokeForce has some of the most beautiful lighting and mapping details that I've ever seen in a Pokemon MMO, or maybe even in pixel art in general. PokeForce is very new school and also extremely experimental, having a lot more open-endedness in terms of the content they want to add in the future. There's going to be skilling and farming like we've already talked about. There's also a lower shiny rate in PokeForce. In the demo, that shiny rate is actually 10% of what it will be at release. Currently in the demo, once again, it's just a summer demo, a 1 out of 2,480, I believe, shiny rate. And once the game is fully released, it will be 1 out of 20,480 with a pity system where if you encounter a Pokemon that number of times, you will eventually be your rate towards that shiny Pokemon specifically will be lowered. I've covered that in a previous PokeForce video. I also have an entire playlist dedicated to PokeForce videos on my channel if you're interested in learning more about this game. NPCs also have schedules. I think that is honestly one of the most under talked about and interesting parts of this game. When visiting Moo Moo Farm, I found that there was Miltanks out frolicking in the field in the daytime, and when I returned to that same farm at nighttime, the cows had wandered inside. The schedules do have a life outside of us just playing the game, which is one of those go-to open world RPG moments of making a world feel alive. There's also a job board in-game where you can go and accept different quests, whether to encourage skilling, shiny hunting, or other PvM of just defeating specific Pokemon. These quests will give you Pokeyen alongside trainer rank XP, which is essentially a level for your trainer itself, which increases the amount of Pokeyen you gain from battles, as well as increasing your catch rate. I stood by it briefly earlier, but there is also a bank in-game where you can store your items, store your Pokeyen, and then also collect Pokeyen when you actually end up selling things through the shipping crate, which is very similar to Stardew Valley. So at any Pokemart in the game, you can actually choose to sell your stuff either to the shipping crate or to the person directly. And if you choose the shipping crate, you can't sell it instantaneously. It actually takes until dawn for the things to actually be sold, similar to Stardew Valley. But you are given 100% of your item's value as opposed to 40 to 60%, I believe, if you sell it instantaneously to a shop. So as we can tell, even though the game is in pre-alpha, there are so many interesting mechanics that they're testing and experimenting with and doing things in a monstrously different way than PokeMMO does. PokeMMO really sticks to traditional Pokemon, which we'll talk about right now. Some phrases to describe PokeMMO include old school, sticking to traditional Pokemon elements, valuing balance over all else. It is a very consistent game. It is a game that paved the way for the genre, inventing systems like their breeding system that most monster catchers actually have to adapt to even keep a healthy Pokemon market and not let good IV Pokemon deflation run rampant. They've discovered so many things. They've had to have conversations. They've, based on rumors, hired economists in the past to actually come in and help them solve and fix a Pokemon economy, which no other game developer had correctly found the solution to before. PokeMMO has 12 years of history, community, and balancing all wrapped up in a Gens 1 through 5 package. It has the most perfect shiny hunting system in any Pokemon game in my personal opinion. It has an extremely developed and extremely active PvP scene with a tier council making constant changes to the PvP scene if something becomes unbalanced. At the time of recording, it is currently September 3rd, and the number of games played resets every month, so it's only been 3 days, and there are almost 93,000 PvP games played in just the OU tier. PokeMMO has a lot in the game to already love, but PokeForce has a lot of things to be excited for. So in conclusion, which is better? Asking which of these games is better is like asking whether an orange seed is tastier than a full-grown / ripe Honeycrisp apple. PokeForce is just way too early in development to even consider this comparison, on top of them being entirely different games and offering entirely different experiences. They are simply both Pokemon MMOs, but this is like asking whether Terraria or Minecraft is better, when anyone who has played either of those games knows they are just different and beautiful games in their own way. All we can do is be patient and look forward to the future in a world where there is more competition in the Pokemon MMO space, which is good for everyone. It motivates the developers and excites the players, giving them options for the game that best fits their personal needs. And that's it. That's the conclusion I've come to, and I hope you guys found this video helpful. I kept getting this question on stream, and it was honestly really frustrating me, and I didn't know why, so I thought I'd go ahead and take the time to actually put it into words, and it is a good question, and it does need to be answered, especially if so many people are coming to this question, then odds are it's something that needs to be addressed. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully it eased some people's worries and just kind of concluded things and wrapped things up in a nice bow. If you enjoyed this style of video, make sure to like the video or dislike if you didn't. And if you want to see more Pokemon MMO content, subscribe. I do upload videos every single day, as well as streaming Pokemon MMOs, mostly PokeMMO, Monday through Friday, usually at around 12 p.m. EDT on Twitch. Discord's down below to join a really cool community who cares about PokeMMO. And if you want to go above and beyond and support the content, YouTube membership, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal/Venmo sure do help out a heck of a lot. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later, and just enjoy whatever game you want to play today. Hey, thanks so much for watching until the very end of the video. That really means the world to me, and it means even more worlds to me if you go above and beyond and support my content financially like all of these lovely people have done. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.